Alright everyone, and welcome to the week where it all starts. That's right. This week you're going to start really animation. What you've done up to now is the pre-prod of every animator, which is basically creating a system that let him animate his object. You've been doing the hardest one, which is doing characters. Alright? But we've been doing a fairly simple rig. But you understand now the principle of rigs, and you should be digging deeper into it after the class is over. This is just an introduction. Now this week you have to create an idle for your character and an extended idle. Those are very important in video games. At my time there was only idle, no extended idle. But now, because the technology is so much better, we can do extended idle. Is that great? That's awesome, you guys. And you'll get better and better with better technology, if I may say so. Okay, so let's look at it. But first, before we animate, we need to go through the tools and the concepts of animation using Maya. It's very simple. Number one, from now on, you're gonna switch from the rigging menu right here to the animation menu right there. Alright, this is the first thing you are going to do. Okay, so like that you can get the proper menus that you need to do your work. It doesn't get deeper than that. Okay, as soon as you have the animation, you have a couple one right here that shows up that are menus that we didn't have before. The key menu, alright, that can let you keys anything you want, cut, copy. Alright. The thing is, I don't use them much, those right here. I use the short key most of the time to do my job. Okay, and I'll show you the shortcut, and I'll show you what it is. You can copy, delete, paste all your keys as much as you want. Okay? You have the playback that lets you play, backward, stop, next key. I don't use that very much too because I go right here to do it. And I'll show you in a second. It's a little faster. Okay? So, it works like that. The most important part of your animation is going to happen right here at the bottom. And also in a window animation called the graph editor. Right here. The graph editor will show you where you place your key and how the curve looks like and let you adjust it. It's pretty simple. I'll get back to it in a minute when I'm done with a simple animation. Okay, so let's do a simple ball bouncing so I can explain to you all the information and meaning at that bottom part right here. Okay, so I will create a sphere right here. I'm going to put it up right there. One thing extremely important in animation are called pivot points. Those points are the points around which every transformation of an object occurs. Meaning, if my pivot point right now is right in the middle of that sphere. If I select the rotation and rotate the sphere, it will rotate on itself 360. If you click on the insert on your keyboard, you will see that you can change the location of your pivot point. And I'm gonna snap mine for this exercise at the bottom right here. So I use the snapping tool. Alright, you guys. Let me see just a second. Right here to the point. Let me close that for now. And so point right here, and let me move it to the point right here. Let me see. I really want it at the oops, I was pretty good. Right here, that should work out pretty well for us. Alright. Then you click on insert again, and this is where your point is located. And you can see now it's rotating around that. For us, in a ball bouncing, for example, that's very important because now we can really squash it properly like it's touching the floor from under right there. Alright? So pretty important. So now that we got that set up, we're going to make it bounce up and down. let's select the transform tool, and right here you have your timeline. Alright, in that timeline you definitely will create keys. The way to create a key is by clicking on S, the letter S on your keyboard, like Sam, on your keyboard. As you can see now, every channel has been keyed and it's red, and you have a little red tick right here also. This is a way to key everything across, but you can also key only one channel or one axis. Let's say I want to go down only, and that's the Y. Okay, so I can go right here and select translate Y, right click on it and say key selected, and I will key only that. That's very important to remember. For today, for this exercise, we are going to key everything. So let me click on S, and everything is keyed. And now I want to change the time into which that bouncing ball is bouncing. In video game, there's a couple principles that are very important in animation. Number one, it needs to be at least 60 frames per second. Let's look at that. So I go right here in the option, animation preferences, and I am going to change playback speed, from 16 to other. Actually, it was already other, but I'm putting it at 60. Okay, and I'm going to click save. So now it's 60 frames per second. I want to do a 1 second loop of that ball bouncing. In video game, one of the most important rules also is that it needs to loop seamlessly, like a seamless texture that you've done in my previous classes. But that's for animation now. That's what it needs to be. Okay, so it's very important you do that, and to do that it means that your first key is the same as your last key. Alright, so first I need to change the time. I'm at 60 frames per second and I want 1 second. So right here, those outer numbers represent the full length of your animation. So we're going to start at 1 and we're going to end at 60. Alright, the inner number that you see right now are the part of the animation you're working on. It's like a zoom. Alright, you can say I want to work only on 1 to 10, and then you do that, and that's it. It will be 1 to 10 only. Alright, very useful when you have large animation and you want to really work on a part of it only. Okay, so we have that key made at 1. We know that a second later we want it back right here because it's got to be a seamless loop. So we're going to right click, copy, move our timer all the way to the end, and right click and say paste. Simple paste right here. We have no animation whatsoever at that point. Alright, but we have two of the same keys, so they'll blend seamlessly. Now to make a motion, we'll just bring it to 30, and we'll bring the sphere down to the floor. Click on S, and now we should have a motion. Let's see. Alright, we have a seamless motion, but it's pretty boring. It doesn't have any 12 principle of animation. It's missing ease in, ease out. It's missing follow through, aka the squash right here. Okay, that's why we move the pivot points. So let's do that, and we'll do that in the next video.